Versatile Mage. Chapter 697. The Falling Tide of Undead. Careful, the whole of chaos might reflect our attacks with a stronger force. The mysterious man warned the group. We should be careful of the man standing on the mountain zombie. His aura. Hanji lifted his gaze and stared at the man. As Hanji mentioned, everyone here was an expert with sharp senses, and the man who had nullified all their attacks with a single spell had a formidable and mysterious aura, putting them on alert. They could sense danger from him. Mo Fan was the closest to the mountain zombie. He was standing on top of a signal tower, the bottom of which was destroyed. It was just tall enough for him to be at the same height as the man on the mountain zombie. The mountain zombie was no longer running. The all-powerful zombie seemed afraid of the man. Its body slowly knelt down with its head lowered. The group was completely dumbfounded upon seeing this, making the mountain zombie drop to its knees. Who could be strong enough to force the mountain zombie, one of the strongest ruler-level creatures, to kneel? No wonder even an expert like Hanji was panicking. The mountain zombie turned around and carried the man toward the group. It seemed extremely willing to be the man's mount. As the creature approached them, the dim dawn light and the rain pouring onto it highlighted the outline of a man wearing a black battle robe. His aura was piercingly cold and stern. He glanced at the group of magicians before looking at the inner city with a swaying golden barrier in the distance. Ancient King. The mysterious man shuddered. His gaze suddenly turned blank. Even Hanji was stunned. In the ancient drawings, the ancient king was indeed depicted wearing a black battle robe when he passed away. The man's outfit perfectly resembled the emperor of the past. On top of that, even though he was glancing down at the living humans, he did not have any living presence. He's awakened, Zhu Meng said in a dispirited voice. The ancient king was awake. It was the end for everything. All living creatures would be turned into undead. The city that had survived over thousands of years would soon become an undead paradise. The mountain zombie came forward. The creature did not dare to unleash its previous overwhelming aura. It was not because of the severe injury under its throat, but it did not dare to act recklessly because of the man standing on it. Its feet stomped the ground heavily as it walked past the signal tower that Mo Fan was standing on, allowing Mo Fan to see the man's face clearly. He did not just see the side of his face. The man turned his head and stared right into Mo Fan's eyes. Chief Military Instructor. Mo Fan shivered. He could not believe what he saw. Zan Kong. The face was none other than the Chief Military Instructor, Zan Kong. Mo Fan felt his heart crumbling. He could not explain the scene before him. Zan Kong was staring at Mo Fan, tall in his battle robe. It was hard to tell if he had recognized Mo Fan, or if he was simply amused by Mo Fan's extraordinary demon presence. Suddenly, the man raised his hand. The whole of chaos that had absorbed everyone's attacks appeared in front of Mo Fan. Mo Fan subconsciously thought the man was going to attack him. His figure tensed as he prepared to defend himself. However, the whole of chaos did not spit out the destructive energy it had absorbed. It opened up like an eerie door of space. 3 figures were pushed out from the spinning vortex. Lu Ru, Zhang Xiaoho, Su Xiaoluo. Mo Fan instantly recognized the 3 people. He leapt forward, grabbing 2 of them with his hands and biting Zhang Xiaohu's collar with his teeth. Using the mountain zombie's shoulder as a stepping stone, Mo Fan jumped back to the signal tower while holding the 3 people. The 3 youngsters had fallen unconscious while passing through the chaos vortex. Mo Fan placed them on the tower and shifted his gaze back to the man. However, Zan Kong, who seemed like a totally different person, no longer made eye contact with Mo Fan. He turned around, only showing his back to the group. As he turned, the mountain zombie also turned and walked in the opposite direction of the city, as if given some order. Thud, thud. Each step the mountain zombie took produced a huge blast. On top of that, a troop among the undead army sank into the ground every time it stepped. The undead in the city north were the first to withdraw. Most of the undead army had the ability to move underground. The ocean of undead disappeared into the ground in just a few minutes. Judging from the pattern, it seemed the entire undead army was moving into the distance following the mountain zombie, or more accurately, following the man standing atop it. The footsteps sounded further away with each step. Half of the undead were gone. The spectacular withdrawal even postponed the arrival of dawn as their mass had covered the rising sun in the distance. A while later, a phantom ruler appeared in the south. The phantom ruler seemed like it had yet to fully enjoy itself. It opened its enormous wings, similar to those of a bat, and beat them, gliding across the golden barrier and heading north. An army of phantoms followed right behind the phantom ruler like stormy clouds. When they flew past the inner city above the golden barrier, the entire inner city was immersed in darkness. A few moments later, the clouds formed by countless phantoms had flown into the distance, returning the dim sunlight to the countless people in the city, many of whom had fainted from fright. Finally, the army of skeletons withdrew like a fading tide as well. Of the 8 undead rulers, 4, including the mountain zombie, were still alive and led their armies into the distance. Not a single one dared to stay or threaten the inner city, even though the golden barrier could collapse at any second. The black ocean gradually disappeared into the north. The ruined city was illuminated by sunlight that was gradually turning brighter, exposing the collapsed buildings, destroyed streets, broken bridges, and areas beyond recognition. Only the inner city was preserved, along with countless people and its intact buildings and structures that had survived the calamity. However, it felt like everyone was completely worn out. Even after the inner city was soaked in sunlight for quite some time, the whole place was still deadly quiet. It took the people a long time before they realized the calamity was over. Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.